All right, everybody, joining us now on Setting the Pace. It is the Pacers guard who was on the rookie first team last year, Bennedict Mathurin. Ben, thanks so much for coming on. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome, man. I want to say I was at your camp on Saturday. It was a great turnout, and I thought you guys had a lot of fun things going on there. The kids seem to be having a great time. Just talk to me a little bit about that camp and what was your reasoning by starting this camp here, having your first camp in Indianapolis?
It was good. It was really good. I had the help of a lot of people, and especially the Pacers. And my goal was pretty much just to have a camp where kids could come, not only play, get gear, but have fun. For like the game of basketball is fun, and that was pretty much the main focus for me.
Hey, Ben, how much did it mean to you to not only have your sister at your camp, but also fellow teammates and coaches present?
It was good. Like I said, I was really grateful, for the help of my team, my family to make the camp happen. And, it was really a success. I had a lot of people reaching out to me and telling me how, they enjoyed coming to the camp. So it was for sure a great thing to have.
Awesome. I'm sure that'll be something that you continue to do too as well as you're here in Indiana. But I know this offseason has probably been a bit of a long one. Finished playing in April. The season starts back up here in October. Anything you did in this offseason that was just something you were working on to improve your game?
Yeah. I mean, I was in California. I was traveling a little bit this summer, but I was in California for like 6 weeks. Went back home for a little bit. I was working. I was really working. 2 or 3 times a day, and it's every day. So I feel like it was a big commitment for me to do, but at the same time, it is ready to pay off in the next few weeks. So it was fun.
We're all excited about that. One thing that we commonly hear is one of the biggest challenges for a rookie. It's the number of games compared to the college schedule. Was it a challenge for you going from, say, 37 games that you played as a sophomore at Arizona to nearly 80 games last season?
For sure. I mean, it definitely was a challenge. I'm gonna be honest. The first 20 games, I was like, man, that's easy. I'm this light. And then, after All-Star break, I was like, okay, like, playing 82 games compared to 37, like you said, was definitely a big change.
So you talked about going to California. There was a video that was all over social media where you were working out with Klay Thompson. I'm curious, what was that workout like? And was there anything that Klay taught you in those workouts?
It was good. It was good having, obviously playing with one of the best shooters in the world of all time. So it was fun. We got to play one-on-one. We got to do shooting drills. Uh, I know, I have to talk with Jordan, source cultures, because all the clips he put was Klay making shots. So I got to make sure he changed the narrative. But it was fun. I actually beat him in one-on-one and beat him in a shooting contest. So,
Wanted to
man,
hear that.
for sure.
No, that's awesome. They're going to have to, show some of those other clips because
Yeah,
I needed
absolutely.
to hear more about that one-on-one. I'm
I'm
happy
tough
that we got that answer.
for
Um,
sure.
But one thing, you talked about shooting with Klay. Obviously, you think of Klay Thompson, you think of one of the best three-point shooters that has ever played the game. Maybe it's three-point shooting, maybe it's something else. What part of your game do you think will look most different to fans this upcoming season due to the work that you've been putting in this offseason as the Pacers look to take that step forward towards the playoffs?
I think I've taken my game to a different level. I think I was labeled as a draft left, and could not really I could shoot it the first 30 games, but I feel like the main thing for me was conditioning. I feel like I was running a lot this summer and taking game shots, but I think my game has taken a big step. I'm not really trying to say what I worked on, because the scouting report is real, but man, I'm really excited, man. I'm really excited for what's coming, and the games obviously, and having an All-Star Indy and all this stuff. So it'll be fun.
So one of the questions we always ask players when they come on is what are some season goals you have for yourself? And we had Miles on just about a month ago, and he said he wanted to be a 50, 40, 90 guy. So I'm curious, do you have any personal goals for yourself this upcoming year?
I think my personal goal goes with the team. I think like I said, I've worked really hard this summer to become a better player, and my personal goal is to help the team make the playoffs. I think having Bruce Brown and you know, and OT and OB. Having the guys on the team right now, we have a decent team, you know, good enough to make a long run. So I'm gonna be honest, you know, I'm really locked in into you know, helping the team win.
And we got a lot of guys that have yet to taste that first experience of the playoffs, and the fan base, we're dying to get back there. But one quote I want to share with you, which I thought was awesome, and I would love if more players would embrace this, is you talked about when it came to Rick Carlisle, you said, Rick Carlisle has been hard on me, but I asked for it. Is there an example of some tough love that Rick may have showed you that you were able to learn and benefit from?
For sure. I mean, I think, you know, from the first day I got to, you know, I got coached by Rick, and, you know, right now I think our relationship grew a lot, you know, and I don't think it would have happened if I didn't ask him, you know, to coach me a certain way, because I told him I want to be great. You know, a lot of players want to be good, and, you know, that's fine, but I told him, I really want to be great. And he's been around great players, and you know, he's a Hall of Fame coach as well. So, I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with, you know, having a coach, you know, who's hard on you, just showing you that, you know, he wants the best for you. So, I mean, so yeah.
I'm curious a little bit about your position now, being in the league for a year, and then you get two rookies coming in, Jarris Walker, Ben Shepherd. What kind of advice have you given those two rookies as they have entered in their rookie season, and maybe some things you learned last year?
I would say the main thing for them to you know, is just the rookie duties. You know, they got to bring the donuts, make sure they bring on the plane. I'm a vet now, so they want to bring my donuts. But main thing on the court is, you know, don't, you know, if you have questions, you know, don't hesitate to ask. You know, I remember last year I used to do a lot of mistakes, but I was able to learn and not only grow as a person, but also grow as a player. So don't be afraid to ask questions.
Who, you know, speaking on that topic, I mean, now you are a veteran, but who was one of the biggest veterans for you last year, really helping you through your rookie season?
Uh, I would say James Johnson. You know, obviously, you know, Miles, TJ, those guys, but I think, you know, the vet who really, you know, helped me the most on and off the court was, you know, definitely James Johnson. You know, I think he's had a great impact not only on me, but, you know, the rookies last year, Drew and KB. So he's obviously had a great impact on, you know, how to approach the game and how many ups and downs you're going to go through the season, because it's such a long season, you know, plays or games. I mean, I can tell you a funny story. I remember pre-training camp, we used to, you know, scrimmage, and we used to play against the starters. And I remember he was on my team, and it was tie game both sides, and he had the ball in his hands, and I clap it, I clap it so hard, the whole gym could hear it, and I was like, "Yo, throw it!" You know, it's just automatic. And then he said, pause. He said, "Yo," he said, "Don't." He said, "Don't ever clap." He said, "Don't ever clap at me again." But, you know, it's James Johnson, so that was kind of like the moment where I was like, you know, you really can't do anything. So,
True.
man.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to mess with James Johnson.
No.
I think he might be one of the most scariest players in the league. So there's no doubt about that. But talking about leadership this year, obviously, James Johnson not back with the team. George Hill not back with the team right now. But Tyrese Halliburton is the leader of this team. He just signed a max extension in the offseason to be with the Pacers for the next 5 years after this season. So what kind of leader has Ty been for you, and how big do you think him signing that max extension was for this franchise?
You know, Ty has been amazing since, you know, the first day I met him. You know, I met him through the, you know, the whole draft process, and I think I already know who he was as, you know, as a player at Iowa, but at the school. But I think you know, he's really underrated. I think not a lot of people knows, you know, what he means when he does stuff, and I feel like it goes a long way. You know, he was hurt, you know, for a lot of games during the season, and I remember him just being the best teammate. You know, I think you've seen the picture of him with, and I think it was Austin Reeves. He was dunking, and he was really hyped. He was in the air and all hyped. You know, that's really who he is as a person. You know, he's always brought the, you know, the good energy, but also the good leadership.
And we're really excited for, he's coming off an all-star year, but as this team continues to grow together, it feels like the ceiling has been raised on this team. You talked about some of the players that have come in between Obi Top and Jarris Walker, Bruce Brown, a few others, a lot of competition. Can you describe the biggest difference for a player as it relates to coming off the bench versus starting? So at one point, it looked like you were potentially the sixth man of the year, and you finished the season 17 starts, as well as ending the season as a starter.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, I feel like, teams have different, different situations. Like I said, I was a rookie last year. Obviously, I was coming off the bench, and I was kind of like, bringing the score into the second lineup. I feel like different teams have different needs, but this year we have such a good, roster that, first, second, and third lineup, like could be the first. It could be anything. So, I mean, it is obviously a battle. Everybody wants to start. Everybody wants to, to be on the starting lineup, and I feel like that's really the beauty of it. Going into training camp, we're gonna fight, every single day, and that's pretty much what is going to help us build, the chemistry that we need for us to make a deep run.
Yeah, I think last year, the team struggled defensively, but that was kind of the big goal this offseason was for this team to come back, be a better defensive-minded team. What can you do with your game personally to become a better defender?
I mean, I would say, to me, it's just taking every match, personal. I think, last year I had, the coach to get on me a little bit for me to be locked in defensively. But, like I said, I'm coming with a different approach this year. Like, I want to be the best two-way in the league. I want to be the best two-way player in the league. And I think I have, all the physical tools to be, but it's just, I got to stay consistent and, come to work every day.
But staying on that, if you want to be, one of the best two ways out there, which is everything to strive for, who do you really watch film on? Who's some of the players that you're really studying to say, man, I got to pick up on those tendencies, or I want my game to resemble a little bit more of that person?
To be honest, I wouldn't say I watch anybody currently. I think I've, been around players the whole summer that I was able to, to pick up a few things. Like, per se, Lou Dort is so good at staying, on the ball and, getting through screens. I was playing one-on-one. I actually won against him. But like I was able to pick up a few things against him, how he's able to get through screens, and taught me a few things too. It didn't work against me, but like, against other people it might be working. So
That's great. I mean, speaking of Lou Dort, I know he's from Canada as well as you, and I know Andrew's from Canada too. There's been a lot of fans asking, why was Bennedict and Andrew not part of Team Canada this year? I'm curious, what was the reasoning behind not playing with Team Canada? And then I'm also curious your thoughts on them finishing with the bronze medal.
I mean, my personal reason was, I feel like I could have done a lot more in my rookie year. And, I really want to make a big jump, this next season. So, I mean, this season upcoming. So, for me, it was just about getting better and, be as much as I can, be in the gym as much as I can. So, I mean, it was amazing. I watched every single game, and it was great seeing how Canada was able to bring, the bronze medal home.
I love how hungry you are to take those next steps going into year two. But I know Alex mentioned it earlier, but you making all rookie first team for the Pacers, it was the first time that had been done by a Pacer since 1989 with Rick Smits. So it is quite the accomplishment. So we can't wait to see what you have in year two. But is there a player that maybe, we're not talking about right now on this roster that due to their offseason work, we should really be looking out for to have a breakout year?
I mean, if I really had to, to pick one player, I would say Andrew Nembhard.
Oh, nice.
I think he's, not a lot of people knows what he can do, obviously, and I mean, I've been playing with him for a minute, and, I knew him before, and he's kind of always been under like the radar. So like, I mean, I've seen him work, I played against him obviously, and 5-on-5 and playing 1-on-1, and his game has I've taken a different kind of like perspective he's always been a good two-way player, and now just evolving again. I'm really excited to see him this season.
Yeah, I definitely think that he got snubbed from the all-rookie team. I thought he should have at least made the second team. I think he missed it by 1 point. Someone gave Tyrese a first-team vote or something like that, and it took him off there by just 1 point. So I was a bit disappointed for Andrew because I thought he had a really good season, especially stepping in as that starter when originally he wasn't even in the rotation. But we do have some rapid-fire questions for you here. Just answer them as quick as you can, but you can also give as much thought and input as you want to it too. So I'm just curious, what's your go-to food spot here in Indiana?
Food spots. Man, that's hard. Probably Honey Tupelo.
Oh, I love that. What are your favorite shoes?
To hooping or in general?
Yeah, hooping.
Hooping is probably the BYW Adidas.
Okay,
Gotta check them
out. What's your favorite thing to do outside of basketball? I know you are just like so obsessed with basketball, but anything else you like to do outside of basketball?
I like to play with my dogs. I like
Love
to bake. I like to bake as well.
Okay.
Nice.
What are you baking and what kind of dogs you got?
I have 2 French bulldogs.
Okay.
I like to bake cookies. I like cupcakes and stuff like that. I'm trying to make peach cobbler. It hasn't been well, but I'm trying to learn.
This is the type of stuff I wanted to hear because I don't think anybody knew that, you love to bake in your free time. I love that. I need to pick up that because I can't bake for anything. So I respect that. But who's the funniest teammate to have on the Pacers?
The funniest teammate?
Yeah.
I would probably say Buddy.
I've heard that a
Buddy
few times.
Hield. Yeah, he's funny.
What makes him so funny?
Just his accent, and his accent, the way he talks, and the way he acts too, he cracks a joke sometimes, that are pretty funny.
You got any funny Buddy Hield stories that are worth sharing?
Well, it's not. I don't think you would say that it's funny, but I actually beat him today 1-on-1. I mean, I'm gonna say it right now and later. I mean, nobody has beat me 1-on-1 on the team, so
I wanted to know. I did have. That was gonna be a follow up of like who can take you down because I like what I'm hearing so far this year. It sounds like you're undefeated.
Yeah, I know you're right. You're definitely right. Buddy Hield can definitely not take me.
I got the Mathurin jersey on right now, so I know what's going down.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate that. Man, Andrew Nembhard really can't guard me. Kendall Brown is. I'm trying to think who. Daniel Tice, barbecue chicken.
Yes.
Man. I mean, I would have you probably have to see it, but yeah, I'm undefeated still.
Well, I love to hear that. Oh man. So I guess kind of following up with that, what was your favorite play or game from last season?
My favorite what?
Like your favorite play? Did you have a favorite play, like a highlight reel, or maybe a favorite game from last year, or both?
I would say one of my favorite plays was Aaron Neesmith dunk on Jarrett Allen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else could see what I seen from that angle. It was probably it was a crazy dunk. But like, Vince Carter when he dunks and he keeps bouncing.
Yeah.
Like he kept bouncing after the dunk. And I was like, yeah. Everybody was hyped too. The whole crowd was crazy. Man.
No, we love that. We had Aaron on. We had to have him talk about that dunk. So that was definitely a moment last season. Who's your favorite one-on-one matchup last season that you were involved with?
One-on-one matchup. That's a great question, man. I would say Drew Holiday.
He's tough. You think he's the best defender in the league?
Yeah, I would say top 2 for sure.
Okay. Who else you got up there with him?
I mean, I'm putting, like kind of Lou Dort
into
that.
The torture chamber is a real thing. I think Indiana fans would love that here. So if you want to do some recruiting, I'd be up for that. But I'm curious. Rick Carlisle is a pretty funny personality. I know, like, he's just hilarious to me. But what's the funniest thing Rick Carlisle said to you before?
The funniest thing?
Yeah.
Man, he cracked so many jokes I can't even remember, to be honest.
I mean, if you got a Carlisle story, that'd be just as. I'd love to hear one of those too.
Carlisle story?
Yeah.
I can't say right now. I'm gonna just keep it for when I'm retired.
Hey, okay. I respect that. But I do love how Carlisle's personality, it's starting to come out a little bit more and more, because what you see on TV is definitely not the whole side of Rick. But if you could work out with any player, who would it be?
Probably Kyrie Irving or Steph Curry.
Okay.
Or KD.
Yeah.
All three. Answers. Yeah, all three great players. My last question for you, kind of a personal but serious question. What's the best advice that you've ever been given?
The best advice?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many, to be honest. I would say the one best advice. I can't even remember his name. I remember, I used to play at this park, but I used to see him. The kind of person you see every time, but you don't know who it is.
Yeah.
This guy, I was at the park, and I was playing with my older brother and his friends. They were like 3 years older than me, and I was playing with them. I was losing, and I was crying. And he said, "Look, I was on the bench," and he said, "Don't let anybody tell you you can't do anything." And I think that was the biggest thing that someone said to me. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do anything.
I love it. At the end of the day, it's you that's got to believe it. If someone else doesn't believe it for you, hey, it's not their life to live. So I respect that.
I took that to heart, and then since that moment, anything I want to do, I'm gonna do it.
I love it. Now, you talked about before, for my last question, you said no one on the Pacers could beat you. But my last question, who would give you the toughest battle on the Pacers? One-on-one.
You look so disgusted.
Nah, I'm trying to think, because I almost beat everybody. One guy you might not think is T.J. McConnell.
Really? He's always been sneaky.
And it's not even because, he's stronger. It's just because he doesn't stop. Defensively, he's going to be there. And, his mid-range, I've seen him miss his midi once. And that was the only time and I missed. And I said, "Yo, TJ, you missed that over there." And he said, "I'm human." Man. I was like, man, hell no. But I would say T.J. McConnell.
I love that. I don't think anyone was really fully expecting that. Just like you mentioned, you would think maybe it's like, okay, someone going to say, more of like a pure scorer type of player, but McConnell, that's a great answer.
I'm almost, just like I said, I beat everybody on the team, so.
Someone had to potentially almost come close, so I respect your McConnell answer there.
Sure.
It wasn't Coach Pargo, we know that.
Man, JP lying. Yeah,
man. I do have one more question, because we do know about your infamous workout with the Pacers in the pre-draft process, where you came back and wanted to, accomplish that shooting drill. And Chad Buchanan came on our podcast and explained it in detail how everything went down. What makes you, what gives you that drive to be that determined to win, like just the littlest of drills or things like that? Like it sets you apart from so many other players that just don't seem to have that will to win at everything.
Man, I just want to be the best, to be honest. In everything I did, in life, whether we're playing speed, I want to keep playing until I win. But just everything in life, I just always wanted to be the best, and I feel like that's, it worked out pretty well for me, my whole life. So definitely is who I am today.
Hey, that type of mentality could carry you a long way. So I'm excited for that. You clearly want to be great. Hey, and it's showing. Year 1 was awesome. Year 2, can't wait. Ben, I really appreciate you coming on our show. We're so excited for this season. As we wrap up, my last thing, we going to the playoffs this year or what?
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
100%. Man, appreciate you guys. Having me on the
Absolutely.
podcast.
Best of luck this season.
For sure.